An extremely difficult day for the crypto market is making it very hard for investors to remain confident, to remain excited, to want to even discuss the cryptocurrency market. And the very strange thing, guys, we're still sitting at $94,000 Bitcoin. You know, if you go back like 3-4 months, $94,000 Bitcoin is phenomenal. If you go back 3-4 months, $3,000 Ethereum is phenomenal. Now, Solana's been a little bit different, right? It has been bouncing back and forth between essentially $130 and $230 for the last year and a half, and the volatility there does make this an attractive price, but it still feels very low. If you look at everything, BNB feels low at 900 now. Okay, Solana feels low at 130. XRP feels low at 218. We are setting up new bottoms. Now, I'm going to look at this in an optimistic light, absolutely. We're also going to be focusing on Shiba Inu coin versus Zcash. Now, I dislike the Motley Fool. I don't think that they produce good articles, but nonetheless, we're going to be going over this one because Zcash is gaining a lot of attention right now, while Shiba Inu coin is still one of the largest memes in the entire world. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up, everybody? I'm Clay. Now, I'm going to be talking about this article in just a second, but before we do, I want to say thank you guys for watching this video. I know this is my Claybro Clips channel and not Claybro. I'm not going to be able to post on Claybro until at least December 5th or sometime around there. With that being said, YouTube is taking a very, very strange stance against cryptocurrency right now, considering its prohibited gaming content and so on. So, with all of that said, okay, can't talk about monetized digital assets, can't talk about harmful and dangerous. I cannot believe that cryptocurrency is considered harmful and dangerous. But I want everybody to know that this is allowed, okay, because it is educational content. It is a video that provides educational information about cryptocurrency. Now, it does talk about price action and so on. But all we are doing here is bringing the latest and most relevant information to your fingertips so that you can make decisions. And like I said in all of my previous videos recently, this is going to get annoying hearing me say this over and over and over again, but YouTube is directly attacking Web3 gaming and cryptocurrency. So I have to be very, very clear. Nothing in this video, even if I talk about this exchange right here, I use it, sure. Even if I talk about each one of these cryptos, I own them, sure. It is not a recommendation for you to do so, and I do not want it to be interpreted that way. I want you to make your decisions. It is simple as that. If you disagree with me, perfect. If you agree with me, perfect. You are still making your own decisions. So in no way is this a recommendation to do anything other than decide for yourself. So with that, let's talk a little bit about Zcash versus Shiba Inu coin here, and why I disagree. So Motley Fool, typically what their articles are about is discussing some of the most relevant and most talked about coins, stocks, and so on. And then at the end, they always end it with, but if you give us your email, we'll give you 10 stocks that we like better than Shiba Inu coin, 10 stocks that we like better than Zcash, 10 stocks that we like better than Apple. Every single one of these is essentially a, funnel. They call it a funnel. A funnel to get your email or to get you to sign up for the Motley Fool newsletter so that, of course, you can get all of the information. Now, Shiba Inu coin would need to make Shibarium more successful to make investors rich. I completely disagree. Okay, Shibarium could have 50 million users and do 100 million transactions a day, and it would still not bring a single benefit to Shiba Inu coin, right? Remember, it does not burn Shiba Inu coin. It does not use Shiba Inu coin. It does not in any way increase demand or reduce supply for Shiba Inu coin. Zcash needs to convince investors that privacy is valuable. Now, there's not much convincing there. Right? We understand the importance of privacy, and some people are extremely willing to give up their privacy, but nonetheless, right? This is going to be a little bit easier to convince investors, and it's not all about privacy, right? You can use a transparent wallet address on the Zcash blockchain, so it is not simply about privacy, but they are doing an extremely good job of growing right now. As a matter of fact, they're about to hit a new, fresh high. Guys, Zcash had a little bit of a dip here, bringing it back down to 400. We've been talking for the last month or so about how Zcash has been on an absolute tear. Yeah, dude, I'm kicking myself for not buying more down at the $34 range. Zcash is actually one of the very first cryptocurrencies that I owned. It was one of the very first cryptocurrencies that I mined. I'm extremely excited about how well it's doing. Clearly, I wish that I had more, but I have been adding some more. Everybody says it's expensive, right? Well, Bitcoin was expensive at $700 too. I remember not buying Bitcoin at $300 because, of course, it was expensive because the week prior it was at $100. So here we are. Shiba Inu coin, however, seems extremely cheap right now. One of these cryptos is rising and the other one is falling. Now, Zcash is one of the only cryptos right now that is bucking the trend of the overall market and performing phenomenally. If you look at the rest of the market, red, deep in the red. So much so that we are looking at extreme fear. And in my opinion, the only thing driving this market right now is the emotion. We've got a lot of very positive catalysts. Lower interest rates, potentially even lower by the end of the year. Trade deals that have been negotiated. Tariffs that have been negotiated. A government that is reopened. Guys, ETFs being filed for every day, ETFs being approved, institutions setting up entire companies simply to accumulate cryptocurrency. So why is it that institutions are willing to buy, but investors are afraid out of their minds right now? This is how the cycle works. This is how the accumulation of wealth begins. Some people are willing to buy, and some people are simply willing to sell. And a lot of the time, it's retail that allows the emotions to drive them out of the market. And this feels like a deep, deep bear market, even though prices are still relatively elevated compared to recent months and recent years. But nonetheless, it feels like a deep bear market because of this extreme fear. So I continue to push through. I continue to accumulate. Now, the article here goes on to say that Zcash is potentially the better choice between the two, right? Zcash using privacy here. The verdict. Zcash is by far the more plausible choice in the millionaire maker crypto from here. But I will say this. Diversification. That is I own Zcash. I own Shiba Inu coin. I don't believe that one of them is going to be the only answer. I believe the entire cryptocurrency market over time will rise as digital assets are embraced. There's a lot of nonsense going on right here, and I know that YouTube is perpetuating the fear that we're seeing. So with that, we have a choice. Do we fall victim to it, or do we become the victor of it? I choose to be victorious. So what do? I accumulate. If you guys are interested in accumulating Shiba Inu coin or Zcash or any other cryptocurrency for that matter, this is in no way a recommendation to do so. As far as YouTube is concerned, do not buy cryptocurrency. Like, make your own decisions. Go discuss it with a financial advisor because, of course, they know better than you do about your own personal finance. That's right. With that, though, I use the KCEX exchange, and for a variety of reasons. 0% maker, 0.01% taker fees on altcoins. Meme coins, it's 0% on both of them. Best selection of crypto that I've seen available in the United States, and of course one of the best selections of leverage as well. 75x leverage on altcoins and meme coins, 125x leverage on Bitcoin. Let me know what you guys are accumulating down in the comments below, and until the next time, hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.